Ali expect Pep to prove himself on Amorim. Hello Asani ni Ochibo kutoka Kisumu, Manchester City to win 5-2. Nani? Ochibo? Atata nisimalize. Unasema nini wewe? At 5-2. It's a 1-1 draw by Daniels. Hello, it's Ali expect City kichwa. Robbie, take it away.
Endelea.
Ochibo anatuambia nini?
So, let's continue this. Remember, before we went for the break, we were having a conversation on FC Leopards' expenditure after the Mashemeji Derby, and I want each gentleman here to give their closing remarks on that expenditure. 1 minute each. Yes, turudi kwa hiyo Mashemeji Derby. Shtemi, as we conclude on this, do you feel that this, as much as it seems transparent, do you feel like it shows what transpired?
No, it's not the true reflection of what the fans and the Kenyan football want. I think that moment people start being transparent more so to the key stakeholder, that's the fans, then our game will go to the next level. But the elephant in the room remains to be the ticketing processes, whereby verification, there's no verification. When you went, maybe try to watch the Harambee Stars game as well as the Mashemeji Derby, it's the same thing, whereby there's duplication of this ticketing, and maybe also the security guy and the stewards are also involved in this process. Maybe once you arrive at the gate, you don't have the ticket, a lot of businesses are happening. So not all money are going to the football, the key people that are deserving this money. So we need to really work on the ticketing verification and also the barriers. Nyayo is not good with having barriers. So they need to try and improvise so that they have like 2 barriers. That will help us. Thank you.
Cedric, your closing remarks on this.
I think my appeal to all football stakeholders, we need actually, this is the time to stop this. We have never experienced what we have just seen for the last few weeks happening in Kenya for a very long period of time. Fans are now back to the stadium and they are willing even to come more. These clubs actually depends on that particular fan to redefine our league. Remember, fans, the presence in fan that particular pitch also actually makes these players to push up themselves, and our quality will go high. So we need as much as we can to stop this kind of the antiques. We need just to be transparent enough, allow things to flow, get money, pay players, and let players give us the value that we are looking for. That's how, that's how we'll actually be a better footballing nation, other than just giving us things. And you think that 50 million Kenyans are those are stupid? They cannot actually go through whatever sheet that you are sharing with them. And they are there are some who will do it much better even than what we are doing here. And they will give us the results.
You know, say sheet, but somebody will say sheet you're giving them, but it's this sheet, like a sheet of paper.
Yes.
Just clarification. Yeah. Jamaa Murima, as we close this conversation.
And of course, you cannot print tactical papers at 1,000, tactical sheets of papers at 1,000 shillings.
And tactical what?
Tactical papers.
Now,
yes,
I want to agree with the fans of that club, because those are the fans who are speaking right now, and they are saying exactly what I would say about other teams also. Being very having accountability is very important, because you have already realized that Kenyans have started going back to the stadiums, and I saw even Raila Odinga say that tumejaza Nyayo mara ya pili. So it means that guys have started now going back to football. They've been following, but they've not been going to the field really, and it is very important to have that accountability. Watu wasione ni kama pesa yao inatumika vibaya, especially to the clubs. It is going to boost these clubs in a very better way, and hata watakuwa na uwanja yao by the way.
In 10 seconds mashabiki FC wananitext ananiambia sisi si wajinga bwana, sisi si wajinga bwana. Si wajinga.
Si wajinga. Wakitengeneza vizuri hata uwanja watatengeneza uwanja.
But uzuri sisi watu wa Shabana tuko sawa. Shabana na yemo accountability after every game. Of course tunazionanga pale, na ndio maana FC wali collect 1.4 million from that time. Now let's move on. Now the national under 20 football team, the Rising Stars, are in camp. They have intensified their training ahead of their under 20 AFCON championship that will be held in Egypt. And I want to quickly run through this provisional squad that is in camp. We have goalkeepers Bernard Jero, Wycliford Oduor and Kevin Oduor. Defenders Manzuro Kwaro, Joseph Buffet, Jackson Sane, Amos Wanjala, Charles Jr., Baron Ochieng, Humphrey Wino, Teleno Ochieng, and Rogers Wasega. In midfield now, this is where we have a headache. Andres Odhiambo, Stanley Wilson, Zach Obiero, Kevin Wangaya, Emilio Bryan, Erad Mushidi, Kelly Madada, Mark Shaban, Aldrin Kibet, Humphrey Aroko, Gilbert Abala, Hassan Beja, Ezekiel Omuri, Tyron Kariuki, William Gitamu, Javan Omondi, Eli Owande, Emmanuel Osoro, and Jeremy Bisau. Of course, forwards, Lawrence Ouma, Oliver Machaka, and Henry Molo, as well as Luis Ngabi. Now, Ishtemi, who angalie midfield. They know, midfield iko hapo. Nani ataachwa? There are 19 players in midfield. And when you take a look at midfield, what ni wazuri.
That's always what our coach wants, to have
and today, yesterday after their friendly against Kariobangi Sharks, he said that it's good that he's having this headache because all the players are good.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a good headache to have.
Yes.
Yeah, so that there's no favorism because all those players are of quality players, and any team with good midfielders, they give the strikers a chance to score goals. And we have been struggling in that particular area, most of the attacking and creative midfield. But looking at the players and the boys that have been called up in that position, I feel Salim Babu is just there. Maybe it is for him to lose who to pick, but at the end of the day, he'll settle on the best players to represent us at AFCON in Egypt. Because once we go there, these players will try to lift the profile of our Kenyan game. And if they don't do so, we are doomed.
Cedric, 30 seconds. What do you think about this squad?
I feel like he had options, and those options would have come out better enough if this team would be subjected to tougher build-up. Because I thought build-up that would have actually isolated those headaches that he's really contemplating in between, and the squad that would have represented Kenya now coming to the tournament itself. Playing Kariobangi Sharks and Ulinzi does not represent the value of you knowing the kind of player that you want from this quality. If you would have been playing the friendly like Ivory Coast, maybe play the likes of Algeria, from there, he would have had a team by now. But he has this headache because he's playing against Kariobangi Sharks and has played against Ulinzi.
Thank you very much, Cedric. Let's quickly take a look at last week's results. Deno, tuangalie tu results za slip zetu. Quickly, results za slip zetu because we're running out of time. What we got, Hassan had 8 out of 10. Of course, he missed 2 games. Then Kariuki also had 8 out of 10. Missed 2 games. I had 7 out of 10. Kariuki. I missed 3 games. So let's get into.
No. By then wamekuwa mkishikana na utachi sana.
We have 5
It's
a Shabana thing,
because now he has 7. So because of time to harakisha.
Tuachane.
Tunaharakisha maneno.
Let's move on to this weekend's predictions. Hassan, tuanze na yako quickly tupeleke.
Impunity.
Haya, predictions zako tupe haraka. So,
undenishe no ile.
You are not happy? No, you are not happy.
Kakamega Boys 1x. KCB Gor Mahia. Draw or Gor Mahia, Everton, Arsenal, hii itakuwa ni mabao over 1.5. Aston Villa over 1.5. Manchester nini hii na nani Haaland yuko, tutafunga hii Man City, tutafunga. Real Madrid Valencia, Real Madrid will win. FC Barcelona they are at home, watashinda hii. Sevilla Atletico X2. Atalanta either way. Werder Bremen Frankfurt either way.
Jamaa Murima.
Lakini jamaa Mlima kuna slip yake.
Si lazima uangalie.
Napata ngapi?
Screen iko next.
No, napata ngapi?
Kariuki first.
Hata tujiona.
Hata tukiti.
No. Give us your
Lakini akikuwa last anakuwa ni mpini. Hapana.
Let's get to Kariuki sleep.
Iko hivyo.
This
is my script.
Kariuki, give us your prediction.
It is like this. Unaiona. Because of time, let's move to you. Let's move to you.
Sawa.
Because of time, let's move to you.
Because of time, let's move to him.
Impunity.
Zama Kakamega Homeboys, Leopards Zama draw, KCB Gor Ama draw, Everton Arsenal over 1.5, Villa Nottingham over 1.5, Manchester City versus at United over 1.5, Real Valencia, Real Barcelona Betis, of course Barcelona, Sevilla, Atletico, XO2, Atalanta, Lazio over 1.5, Bremen and Frankfurt, of course, XO2. So those are our predictions for this weekend. So I want us to move away from there. Let's get into the big conversation of the weekend, and we get into, let's begin with Manchester United. We begin with Manchester United at Old Trafford taking on Man City. Rogers Ishtemi, what are you expecting from this?
It's a derby as always.
Yes.
There's no favorite. Of course, people are trying to underrate Manchester United. But this is the moment they need to come out of that woodwork and try and do something possible to please their fans, because getting lost between the forest, it was so sad. So they need to get their way back onto the road.
Repeat that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Getting
lost into the forest and between the forest.
Into the Nottingham
Forest. Manchester United. No, I think they need to get their way back onto the road.
Now for Man City this weekend, they may be missing the services of Haaland. Cedric Musumba, with Haaland being out. What are you expecting from Amush?
It's a team that is in a rebuild, and I don't think if they will find it even hard losing it, simply because of what is happening and what has been currently happening to them. Haaland being out, Mamush actually will be out there to try to emerge that particular space and give them goals. Also remember, their backline checking on the backline has actually been rearranged by Guardiola, and taking the Gvardiol to the rightful center back position, which he treated very well in World Cup. I think that to me is a plus, and I'm so happy seeing him trading there, and Nico falling back to wing back 3. And it necessarily doesn't give us an option simply because both of them are so low. The result, as Shitemi say, the derby will actually prevail, and let the best team maybe.
Who's winning? Who's winning?
Let the best team win.
Who's winning? It's a prediction show.
Yes.
Who's winning?
A draw.
I'm putting my money on Manchester United because Haaland is not playing. Alafu, just before the derby,
when you are waiting,
KDB
no, Manchester City will win.
Exit.
Eshtemi, who's winning this?
Manchester City will win.
Yes. Your time.
He forced me for a draw.
Let's go back to Manchester United. Daniel Kariuki.
Yes.
United at home taking on Man City. Manchester derby. First, your expectations, then who will win? Briefly.
Definitely, it's a derby, as Roger said, and it is at Old Trafford. Yes, Manchester United has been struggling at Old Trafford. At Old Trafford, and sometimes when they go away, they do very well. But at home, facing City, I think it's a game that is going to be very entertaining, and I'm expecting.
But at the end of it, who's winning?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Ni vile unakimbia na kuelewa. You are number 7. But Manchester United has a very big hand.
Cedric, Joel amesema we are having a good show, but inaka today you are low. I don't know why. But aside from that, Rogers Eshtemi, we have Atalanta will be hosting Lazio. Cedric, 15 seconds. Your prediction, your preview of this game, Atalanta versus Lazio.
They have been dropping points. Actually, they find themselves, I think it's 7.
That is Lazio. They've dropped to 7, while Atalanta are 4th.
Yeah, are 4th, but they have been dropping points game by game. And coming to this particular game, I think Atalanta has lost their mantle that they have been used to present. It won't be anything actually far from what we saw the last week results.
1-0 loss to Fiorentina.
Yeah, and I think at this, if this doesn't actually bring back the magnitude they have had before, they might end up even losing the game.
So, aside from that, of course, the other game that we have, the big game for the weekend, is Sevilla versus Atletico Madrid. Eshtemi, who's winning this?
Atletico Madrid.
Atletico. Sedo, who's winning this?
Atletico Madrid.
Murima?
Atletico.
So, Deno, let's quickly run through the fixtures that we have for this weekend. Tuanze na wapi. Fixtures tuanze na FKF Premier League, of course, a one match. Tena umeturudisha FC. Tusirudi FC, tulishatoka FC. Madara United will be at home taking on Posta Rangers. FC Leopards host Kakamega Homeboys. Shabana will be at Kisii Stadium taking on Bandari. Mara Sugar host Tusker FC. And then on Sunday we have a couple of fixtures. Gor Mahia take on KCB. Muranga Seal host Bidco. Kariobangi Sharks face Talanta as Nairobi City Stars take on Kenya Police. We move away from FKF Premier League. We go to Bundesliga. Augsburg take on Bayern Munich. That game is currently going on. It's 1-1 all. Leipzig take on Hoffenheim. Heidenheim take on Bayer Leverkusen. Freiburg will be at home against Borussia Dortmund, and then Mainz will be hosting Kiel. But still on the Bundesliga, we do have Bochum taking on Stuttgart. Bremen host Frankfurt, St. Pauli battle Borussia Mönchengladbach, and Union Berlin will be in action against Wolfsburg. Now in the English Premier League, wanasema ogopa ali kickoff. Arsenal, Chelsea, Tottenham, of course, ilishachezwa. Arsenal will be hosting, will be traveling to Everton. Crystal Palace host Brighton. Ipswich will be battling Wolves. West Ham United take on FC Bournemouth. Still on Saturday, it will be Aston Villa in action against Nottingham Forest. Brentford will be facing Chelsea on Sunday. Fulham take on Liverpool. Manchester United will be facing Man City. And then Leicester finish APL fixtures against Newcastle. And Serie A, Genoa take on Udinese. Monza in action against Como. Parma take on Inter. AC Milan will be facing Fiorentina, and Lecce host Venezia. On Sunday, big fixtures that we have. Empoli will be hosting Cagliari. Torino battle Verona. Atalanta host Lazio. Roma in action against Juventus, and Bologna face Napoli. And in the Spanish La Liga, Vallecano will be taking on Espanyol. Girona will be facing Deportivo Alaves. Real Madrid take on Valencia. Mallorca will be in action against Celta de Vigo. Barcelona face Real Betis. Very, very interesting. And then Las Palmas will be taking on Real Sociedad. Sevilla face Atletico Madrid. Valladolid host Getafe. Villarreal battle Bilbao, and Leganés take on Osasuna. Those are the fixtures that we have for the weekend. Eshtemi, 2 seconds. What are you looking forward to this weekend?
As we speak, Harambee Starlets are trailing.
Yes.
0-1 against Ivory Coast first half, but the junior Starlets, I think at the break there was 0-0 against Morocco. Some good results there.
Sedo, what are you looking forward to?
FC Leopard versus Kakamega Homeboys.
Very interesting. Utakuwa wapi weekend?
Kesho na Sunday, Radio Maisha, EPL, home of EPL. Early kickoff, Arsenal, Lydia Everton, and also on Sunday, Manchester Derby. And of course, all the EPL games. Na Sunday pia 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Maisha Kilifi. Pale.
Hapo ndio ulipata leo pale.
Maisha Kilifi.
Hiyo ndio inamfurahisha.
Let's
tumaliza aje.
Get a copy of the Bold newspaper tomorrow, of course.
Yes.
The Standard. Alafu pia keep it KTN.
Yes, of course.
Sports.
For me, we'll be meeting again tomorrow from 2 to 3 p.m. on Scoreline. Tutakuwa tunaangalia mambo mengi ya michezo. But enjoy the rest of your viewing, and kama unalala, have a good night. Adios.